Hey YouTube, it is the month of May and it is Lupus Awareness Month, and I would like to share sort of a story with you about my sister who recently passed from lupus. For y'all who don't know, lupus is an inflammatory disease caused when the immune system attacks its own tissue. My sister recently passed around the beginning of this month or whatever. And I'm really glad I got to see her and talk to her before. I know she was tired. Imagine being in pain just every day, and the simplest of stuff being hard to do, because your health is slowly failing, and your body always aching. She was diagnosed with disease about 13, 14 years ago. The first stages, of course, was like her hands and feet. It was like her skin was like melting off. It looked like it'd been like, you ever seen a burn and it gets down to the skin, that the second, third layer of skin is like red, like that's what it looked like. And of course, it made it hard for her to hold things or to move around. She was getting her life together. She has 4 kids, and she was getting her life together. She was going to school, trying to get, certified. She was becoming a nurse, trying to get certified. And, that's when, disease, sort of struck out of nowhere. And, she suddenly, of course, couldn't work anymore because of disease. And, it's of course, been a long struggle since then. She actually, I guess you could say, technically died 4 times prior, because this particular incident, something, I don't know what happened, but her heart, kept stopping, and it stopped 4 times. And luckily, the quit thinking of a doctor, kept bringing her back. I guess resuscitation or whatever kept bringing her back. And going to the hospital constantly, going to the doctor constantly. I mean, just painful. But though, she was in a lot of pain, she didn't make, any excuses. Of course, I can understand now, having kids, that, even if you don't feel well, you push through and do your best to, try to raise your kids and take care of them. And, she did just that. All the way till, she just couldn't do it anymore. But, luckily she raised them and, had them, doing stuff, and, at a young age, at least you got to see, at least, one of her kids, graduate. That was one of her, she used to always say that, before she goes, she at least want to see her kids, graduate school. So, she at least got to see one. So she, got another one come out of school, and you got two younger ones. It was unfortunate because that was the last one to, of course, see her alive. So I know it's definitely, rough on them, but, I have faith because, my sister, she, did well and raised them and teaching them stuff. For example, one of my nephews, he was able to, like, grocery shop. And, I thought he was kidding. I thought she was kidding, but he was grocery shopping like a grown person, So that's just, an example. But, for people who, don't know or not aware of what people go through that have lupus, is really tough. And, of course, they have the good days and the bad days. There's times when, they just, just can't do anything, or just don't feel like, getting out of the bed or anything, and just, you got to be, just sensitive, and I guess, try to understand, what they're going through. I didn't have disease personally, but, seeing my sister, in pain and stuff, all these years, definitely, opened my eyes, and, it's, seeing it from, that perspective, I kind of understand now. And, you have, rashes, and, your hair comes out and stuff. And, it's hard even going to public because, bad enough, you have the kids, they gonna stare at you, but you have, adults, essentially gawking and staring at you and stuff, and just, making you feel uncomfortable. So, definitely for the people who don't know, just definitely be mindful, of people, don't make them feel worse than they already, is. You're already going to have, self-esteem issue because, you don't look like how you was before you were sick and stuff. And, you can't it just can't be helped. But, I'm glad she did, get out, and we, me and the family definitely tried to get out whenever we could, try to, catch on a good day, and bad days, just what it was. So we all had to have keys to her home, because, oftentimes she would, fall. She would get out of bed and fall, or when she was bathing, she'd fall in the bathroom, whatever. And of course, we had to, one of the adults had to come try to pick her up. Of course, the kids at the time, they couldn't pick her up. But yeah, that's like some of the things that, she went through. I used to go get her medicine, and it was like a lot of medicine. She had to take steroids. So, she would, lose a ton of weight, had to mess with weight gains, and it was just, back and forth. And it was, it was really tough. It was really tough. And, we, especially after that first scare, we just, we always had that fear of when, because, of course, there's no cure for lupus. So, it's not a matter of if, but when. There are different variants of it. I think 3 or 4. I assume she had the worst because, her symptoms, she, recently, like some months before she even passed, she had to get her hip replaced. She was, confined to a wheelchair for a minute. And, the doctor himself said, he never seen anything like it. Her hip was literally mush. Like, then her bones just deteriorated. And I'm glad she finally got the surgery and was, able to walk. So just something simple as walking was just a miracle, seeing her be able to walk. I'm like, you have no idea what that's like. I was tired of seeing her in that wheelchair or whatever, or not being able to move around. I mean, that was really, hard and heartbreaking to see. For the people who have it or have, loved ones that's going through it, you definitely, you have my deepest sympathy. And, please just be strong and be strong for them. I was often, hit my sister up, and, me and our other siblings, we all hit her up, and we, let her know how proud, we was of her, and, how strong she is, and she was. And, I told her, this is not normal. I said, but you sticking tough. And she stuck tough into the end. She was, like Leapy, that's her nickname, that's what we call her. She was like, that's the sibling of ours, that we all confide in. Anytime there was an issue, we talked to her. She's really intelligent. She didn't take sides. She was just for what was right, what was wrong type of thing. So we all went to her if anytime there was an issue in the family or whatnot, or just life issues. So, that's been taken from us, and that's, it's going to be hard. It's not one of those things that, you can just, get over, easy. It's going to take some time, definitely. But, up until like her birthday was April 25th. So of course I had to come from Georgia to go visit her, and and it was like a normal day. We were sitting there talking, and it was like a regular normal day. And it was just, I was just happy just because she was just laughing. She was just laughing and being playful, just like a regular normal day. And of course I was serious but joking at the same time. And I was like, is there anything I need to know or do or whatever, anything happened? Because she was, even in the face of death, she wasn't afraid, and she was more worried about her parents, our mom and dad, them letting it go, because she knew that she was tired, and she told everybody she was just ready to go. And she don't nobody want to die, but the reality of these situations is hard, and I mean, it's tough, but and they something has to happen. But she was, of course, smiling. I'm glad I got to see her. Me and the siblings got to see her, and but I knew that was the toughest walk ever, because I had to leave the hospital knowing I had a feeling we just we're not gonna see her again. Her kidneys, the last stage of her kidneys was eating up her blood cells, her red blood cells. For some reason, we wonder why she'd be cold. We have a gathering or I visit. I'm like, God, this is hot, but you got the heat on and cover on. Like, what is going on? And it's like her blood was just disappearing or something. Like, she was just low blood, and she had to have all these blood transfusions and things. But she's I will never forget her smile, and how tough she was. And for people that have it, you're definitely tough. Definitely, all the prayers to you, and people that have loved ones that are dealing with it. Definitely prayers. My condolences to you, and people who have lost people due to lupus. Prayers and my condolences to you also. But yeah, definitely, be mindful of people that have it and that have loved ones that are dealing with it. I want to say thank you for listening. Share it. I'm not sure if it'll help anybody or a good listen for people who've dealt with it, like I say, and have loved ones that dealt with it. Well, thank you, and till next time.